just work tirelessly all the other states that have them. And again, with Jennifer's help, we're not going to stop till all 50 are done. Thank you, Jennifer. Bonnie and Ron Raphael are here, and they were their daughter Kelsey was killed by a distracted driver, and they were instrumental in getting the first no texting laws put in place. Thank you to Bonnie, wherever. There's Bonnie. Thank you so much. My friend Jane Horrell's here. She lost her husband Dan to a distracted driving crash as he was riding a bike in the park. A horrible story. Thank you for being here, Jane. Jim and Diane Freibler are here. Their son Jacob was killed in a distracted driving crash. So again, thank you for being here. And Laurel Zimmerman, her daughter Allie, was killed by a distracted driver. And I just met, by the way, Tara and Neil Ziegler, who came in from Colorado. Their daughter Nadia was killed just 3 years ago here in Michigan when she was visiting with her boyfriend. There are so many stories out there. It's so horrific how many people have been lost to this terrible pandemic. And I just want to thank all of the victims' families, because we put our heart on the line when we tell these stories to try to get legislative change and behavioral change, and it's really the only way we're getting it done. Thank you all for your support. Now, we obviously can't bring our loved ones back, but this legislation will help save, hopefully, all of your loved ones. I will just tell you, in all the states where we've had these laws put in place, the biggest determinant of success is how good the campaign is and how good the enforcement is. So starting today, you're going to see huge information, a huge awareness campaign to make everyone aware that this law is in place. And over the 4th of July weekend, you'll see a very strong enforcement campaign. So I'll just finish by saying what we always say. When you're behind the wheel, please put your phones down and just drive. With that, I'd like to introduce Lisa from Mish Auto, who's going to make some additional comments. Thank you all for being here.
I'd like to gratefully acknowledge the work of Steve Kiefer, Paula, and the Kiefer Foundation, and again to the families who've been, harmed by this very devastating reality. I also like to thank Representative Matt Colazar and his colleagues in the legislature for relentless work that they put in to move this legislation package forward. And of course, we want to express our appreciation to Governor Whitmer for putting her energy and her influence behind these bills. My name is Lisa. Oh, I'm sorry. Go right ahead. I'm Lisa Lunsford, and I am the chair of Mish Auto, and today I'm representing executives and decision makers in the heart of Michigan's automotive industry, and you probably know it as the heart of the automotive industry. We're proud to be present to celebrate the signing of these 3 bills, and speaking on behalf of myself and Executive Director Glenn Stevens, the entire Mish Auto community is heartened by the final passage of this important legislation that will make Michigan roads and Michigan drivers safe. In addition to chairing Mish Auto, I am the co-founder and owner of a Tier 1 automotive supplier, and today I want to share that within the industry, we welcome laws that put safety above our priorities. Over the years, each of us have gone through the process of adopting and growing into new technologies, and we've acknowledged that the driver's seat of the car has become not only the office chair, but also the sofa or the easy chair. It's the place of choice where more people have decided to conduct business and stay connected to their daily lives. As manufacturers and automakers, we take our roles extremely seriously when it comes to answering the challenges that arise when we combine busy people and new technology. And today, as always, our roles are to be the problem solvers, the engineers and the innovators that put our expertise to work to invent a new set of solutions and to adapt our business models and to make sure that the features of today become the standard and accessible to everyone who drives our cars. Now, let's face it, technology sells, right? We went from an 8-track tape to a CD player, from manually adjusting our seats to hot stone massage seats, adjusting mirrors for our blind spots to now where we have mirrors that actually monitor our blind spots. We're adopting zero emission and quiet powertrains that come with apps that have external speakers that gives us the option to move from a noiseless ride to the rides of reverberating high-performance engines. And just in case, for the best practices that keep Michigan and drivers safe is clear to all of us, so too is the business case for keeping our designers and manufacturers at the leading edge of technology for use affordable people-centered technologies. And just as the industry has a responsibility to push better, safer, and smarter technology, the world's drivers, we applaud the efforts of the Michigan legislature, the Kiefer Foundation, and all the partners in their efforts to enact better, safer, and smarter legislation for Michigan. And just as we lead our industry from Michigan, we hope that bills like these will continue to be enacted across the country. In closing, Mich Auto is proud to continue its support of these efforts, and we are proud to join you all in the road ahead. Thank you.
Good morning. Excuse me, I'm Brad Wiefrick. I am the director for the Michigan Department of Transportation, and I appreciate the advocacy of Mr. Kiefer and his partnership with MDOT on other safety improvements, including the addition of more of the life-saving cable median barrier on our state's freeways. I also want to thank the governor and the lawmakers for being champions for this important initiative. So I spent most of my career designing, developing, and constructing roads, and safety of the traveling public is paramount. It really informs everything that we do. And the people like me that are involved in those initiatives and doing the design and doing the construction and taking on and implementing safety initiatives, it's something that we actually take very personally. And I will tell you, it's a bit vexing at times to know the level of effort that we and our local agency road partners put into improving traffic safety, but we're still seeing numbers for fatalities go in the wrong direction. It seems the more that we innovate with technology and come up with creative ways to protect drivers, technology itself emerges, and it can invite additional distraction and some irresponsible behaviors at times. So we applaud the legislation and the intended focus of law enforcement on the ban of handheld devices while driving. This measure actually mirrors what we already have been doing for department employees when driving state vehicles. And not only will this legislation protect the drivers themselves, but it's also going to make our work zone safer. We have some very vulnerable people in those work zones that are out there building and taking care of the roads for all of us. So not only for them is this a big deal, but also for the drivers themselves. They need to have a much more, a higher margin of attentiveness when going through our work zones. Excuse me. Mentioned other states. I know Ohio enacted a similar legislation in April, and they're seeing about a 9% increase, or decrease rather, in distracted driving since then, especially in the weeks immediately following implementation. I'm very excited and hopeful that we will see those numbers, if not better, for the state of Michigan. So, thank you again, and it is now my pleasure to introduce one of the bill sponsors, State Representative Matt Kolzar.
Good morning. Welcome to the 22nd House District, and welcome to my home, Plymouth Township. Today is a great day for the safety of all Michigan drivers. The efforts to make Michigan driving safer have been a real team effort, and I want to thank my fellow bill package sponsors, Representatives Tyrone Carter and Mike Mueller, as well as senators who worked on this issue, Senators Kevin Hertel and Paul Woino. Additionally, I'd like to thank former Representative Mari Manoogian, who worked on this in previous legislative sessions. But most of all, I want to thank the families of the victims of distracted driving. In the face of tragedy, it is your advocacy that led us to this point. This legislation will save lives. Distracted driving has been proven to make our roads more dangerous and put families' lives in jeopardy. States that have enacted similar legislation have seen distracted driving related accidents fall by anywhere from, as was stated earlier, 9% all the way up to 20%. The epidemic of distracted driving was first put on my radar back in 2019 when Steve Kiefer, then a Northville resident, met me and told me about his son Mitchell. From that point on, I knew I would be a supporter of this legislation, and that's why I fought so hard over the last several months to see its passage. To Steve and to all of the families here, your efforts have proven triumphant. This bill, which is about to become law, will save countless lives. Congratulations, and now I would like to introduce Governor Gretchen Whitmer.
Well done. Well, good morning, everyone. I'm so glad to be here in this moment, and I'm so grateful for the leadership of the Kiefer family, so many families who turn the loss of their child into a cause to keep other young people and other people of all ages safer on our roads. And so I thank you for everything that you have done to bring us to this moment. And obviously the bipartisan group of bill sponsors led by Representative Kolazar, but Representative Carter and Mueller were here earlier, as was our Secretary of State. And of course, law enforcement is going to play a really important role in this. And I want to acknowledge our Chief Law Enforcement Officer, our amazing Attorney General Dana Nessel, who is with us as well. So today I'm really proud to be signing a package of bipartisan bills that will reduce crashes and save lives. These bills will ban the use of a phone while driving, including sending texts, watching or recording videos, or engaging with social media. This will reduce distracted driving crashes that have taken too many lives and shattered so many families across Michigan. Every driver in Michigan knows that their attention must be on the road, not on their phone. A week and a half ago, we marked Memorial Day, which is day one in the 100 deadliest days of the year to be on the road, according to AAA. So far this year, we have had 322 deaths on Michigan roads. Last year, 1,120 people died on our roads, and that's unacceptable. Our goal is to get to zero traffic deaths by 2050. Today's legislation will make a real difference, especially for young drivers, who accounted for 8% of all drivers involved in fatal crashes in 2018, even though they were only 5.3% of all licensed drivers. To reach our goals, we need to work together. We need to remove distractions and make our roads safer for everyone who's using them. The drivers, the bicyclists, the pedestrians, the workers on the side of the road, the law enforcement on the side of the road as well. Each traffic death is more than just a statistic. It's a human being. It's a person with a story and a family, a life cut short. I heard from a Michigander named Tracy, who was a motorcyclist who lost her friend Todd to a distracted driver. She started Do You See Us Now, which is an organization of motorcycle riders in northern Michigan who has been advocating for distracted driving awareness. I've been advocating for this legislation since my first few months in office. During my 2019 State of the State, I introduced Mitchell Kiefer's family. Mitchell was an amazing young man who played on Detroit Catholic Central State Championship hockey team. He was a freshman at Michigan State when he was killed by a distracted driver on I-96. His family continues to advocate in his legacy, and they've been working tirelessly to end distracted driving through the Kiefer Foundation. This family's tenacious advocacy helped get these bills passed. I wish we could have done it quicker, but I'm awfully glad that you've stayed in this fight, and we are here today in Mitchell's memory, and I want to thank the Kiefer family. Today's bills have made a difference in people's lives and make communities safer across the country and other states, and now they will do the same for Michiganders. They will help parents find peace of mind when their kids leave to go to school or to hang out with their friends. They'll protect pedestrians in intersections, bicyclists using bike lanes, and workers in construction zones. They'll help us save lives, reduce crashes, and ensure no family has to go through the tragedy of losing a family member or a child to distracted driving. I want to thank the legislative partners, the advocates, and allies who worked for years to make this happen. Our work is not done. In fact, signing these bills is just half the battle. We've got to work together to get the word out so that Michiganders know what the new law is, why it is, and they take it seriously. So let's keep our eyes on the road and off of our phones. Let's save lives and build a brighter, safer Michigan for everyone. I thank you all for your tireless work, and with that, I'm going to sign the bill and change the law in the state of Michigan. Let's do it.